I briefly wanted to talk to Senator Pauline Hanson. She's online from Canberra. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Ray. Hello.
I just wanted to congratulate you. And that's it. That's all it's about. I mean, there are plenty of... failure has no father or mother. Success has plenty. You alerted the country on this program to what was going on and the solution that can be found over the compulsory acquisition of prime agricultural land north of Rockhampton and up near Charters Towers. Mm-hmm. And within a week, you've got the problem solved. Well done.
Look, Ray, it was been a big effort, not only by myself, but also my staff, which I have the utmost respect for them, their ability and working closely with me on this. It had to change, Ray. You know, I met with the farmers. I went up to Charters Towers. I went to Marlborough. I spoke to the communities there. It just made common sense. And I came down on Monday. I had a meeting with the Prime Minister in depth about this. I explained to him. I showed him the charts. I showed him, you know, it was wrong. It was a big mistake. The farming families, you just couldn't throw them off their land. And I was so thrilled yesterday on the floor of Parliament when I, was told that they would not make compulsory acquisition of land. And it's just like, I had goosebumps. It was, I'm just so pleased for these families.
Yeah. And I mean, you told me, we're sitting here thinking, well, they're talking about 300,000 acres north of Rocky and 600,000 acres. And then you said, well, hang on, Ray, they've got 1 million acres next door. And it's overgrown and rubbish and it would be perfect for, military exercises. And that was the first we'd heard of that.
I know. We're talking about 850,000 acres that they're looking at taking. If the people want to sell their land now, fair enough.
Yep.
Okay, that's their choice, but not to compulsory take it from them. And, so the fight goes on. Every day I'm trying to deal with issues. I'm going to try and fight now for the cane growers up around the Burdekin, with the Wilma, the mill there. That they can't get an ongoing agreement, and this has to happen by the 28th of February, and they're just holding out. These cane growers are going to go under, and I've had meetings with Wilma. I've spoken to the Prime Minister about it. I've just got to find some answers for this so an agreement can be done. They're holding the farmers by the short and curly, and no one seems to do anything about it. And another big issue that I'm pushing for is medicinal cannabis for an amnesty for the 200 families here. And what I've just found out today and spoken, because again I raised that with the Prime Minister, and because they've legalised it to bring it into the country or grow it here in Australia federally, it now comes back to the states. So I'm going to put it on Anastasia Palaszczuk. She told me to go to the Prime Minister and get this land acquisition changed. Well, now I'm telling Anastasia Palaszczuk, I'm putting it back into her court now to make an amnesty for these families so they can actually get the medicinal cannabis so they can possibly, help and even save people's lives.
Well, and if people are in the latter stage of their life, make them much more comfortable than they normally would be with the administering of this particular product. Now, the other thing is you've had your own little battles with people being in one nation deciding they'd go off it at a tangent. And in a general sense, Corey Bernardi, and it's really strange that we should have Liberals who knifed Tony Abbott, criticising Bernardi for not sticking solid, but it generally sticks. It's not something people are comfortable with when they elect someone, be it Rod Cullerton or Corey Bernardi as a Liberal Party senator or a One Nation senator, and then after a short period of time, as happened with Jackie Lambie and later Glenn Lazarus, they drift away from the party that put them there. Do you understand that people aren't happy about that?
I totally agree with you, Ray. I suppose unless... And I was annoyed about it because Rod Cullerton virtually did the same with me too.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so he did the same. I think it's the voters out there. They say, okay, we're voting for this person under this policy because of the politics of the policies that they represent, and they're not happy. Look, I'm of the opinion, and okay, I've got to be honest. Steve Dixon in Queensland, he's now jumped from the LNP to One Nation, and he's my state leader.
So it's served you in one instance and disadvantaged you in another. But I mean, at the end of it, but you're playing under the rules. But I think the rules need to change.
You are, but look, Steve Dixon was about to walk away from politics altogether, right? He said, I feel shackled. I can't be myself. I can't represent my electorate. I can't represent the people of Queensland. And so he saw me as a breath of fresh air, that his person who has some vision wants to do something for the state. And that's why Steve, it was very hard for him. And that's why he came across the One Nation. Corey Bernardi, what I understand, is of the same opinion on the speech that he gave on the floor of Parliament, is that, they feel restricted. And unless these major political parties start getting out from behind their desk and talk to people and really fight for their issues and change their policies and directions that they have, people will be voting more for One Nation or minor parties or people that represent their concerns. It's tough. People are doing it tough out there, and they say the politicians, they don't understand. They don't listen to us.
Plenty of good judges who look after Queensland politics and advise me, because we broadcast into many areas of Queensland, tell me that you'll hold the balance of power in Queensland, One Nation. Are you as confident of that in relation to what you find out by walking around and flying around and driving around Queensland?
Yes, Ray, I'm getting fantastic feedback. I cannot go 5 metres and people just talking to me or congratulating me and thanking me, and gee, it's a wonderful feeling. I tell you what, I've
It beats the alternative.
years.
It beats the alternative, Pauline.
I've been fighting for 18 years, election after election, called serial candidate and everything. I knew what I wanted to do, and to be in this position, I feel so honoured, so privileged to be here. It's wonderful, but there's so much more to do. There's so much more. I see a vision for Queensland to really get the state up and moving. We can actually get jobs going, industries, manufacturing. We can get tourism on the go again. I know I can do a lot more than what the present establishment are doing, and people want that. People are hurting. Escalating electricity costs in Queensland. Do you know that in January this year, our electricity in Queensland wholesale price was 19.7 cents per kilowatt? That's wholesale. Average last year was 8.4 cents. New South Wales 6.5, and Victoria 5.3. We are paying the highest electricity prices. This is why sugarcane farmers can't cope with the escalating costs. They are actually restricted in North Queensland. There's only one provider. The whole lot can be turned around and changed, and this is why I oppose foreign ownership of our essential services, your gas, water, electricity and telecommunications. We've got to put it at a reasonable price for the average family out there. So I've got a lot of ideas and views, and I think it's great that the Prime Minister is going ahead with the coal-fired power station in North Queensland. I was all for that and ready to announce it myself. That's what we intend to do. But let's get this country back in a prosperous state. Make Australia great again. That's my saying.
Well, well done on what you did in relation to the
Thanks.
farmers, and I know you're busy. I appreciate the time you've given me this morning. Thanks very much, and keep going.
It's always a pleasure, Ray. Thank you very much. I know sometimes I talk to you and I get so passionate, worked up and everything like this, and I really let you have it sometimes, but
don't apologise.
It's very important to me what I do.
Thanks, Pauline.
Thanks. Bye.
Senator Pauline Hanson from our Canberra studio.